Good evening, people. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, good evening, Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday. It is January 24th, 2023, and the time is now about 9:09 p.m. What a beautiful, beautiful evening. I always love to see this beautiful skyline. Look how beautiful that is. Absolutely good. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I love the evening and I love looking at the skyline in the city. So, I have my mic on and I hope the audio is okay. I want to talk about a few things today, and I think they're related. I'm going to talk about a handful of topics. I was just watching the John Wick movie. I watched number one and number two. And just some thoughts about that. I want to also talk about Andrew Tate, the MLK, the new MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. statue. What else? And religion, how religion plays. Yeah. So I'm going to first talk about the MLK statue because I actually wanted to, I was supposed to talk about this um, a couple of days ago and the religious. So I'll talk about that first and then I want to talk about John Wick and Andrew Tate. So, yeah, a couple of days ago, oh, there's a new statue that was shared with the public. People, I don't know what's going on. I wonder about some people. It's almost like a passive aggressive. They're making it seem like a compliment, but somehow I feel like they're stabbing him in the back. And after all these years, what's it? It's about I think about 55 years since his demise, MLK. And so let me just talk about it. Well, they commemorated commissioned a statue, a sculpture, I should say, a sculpture of MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., and his beloved wife, a very loyal wife. And I think for them to, the creator of it, I really wonder uh, why would they do this? It's like you have people of the black community who, as time goes on, I see that someone taught me this expression, one of my viewers, skin folk is a necessary kinfolk. Someone could look like you, but they're not of you. They were right in telling me that. Yeah, so it's just the impression I'm getting when you love someone, when you love what they represent, and then you have a chance to honor somebody, it's going to be revealed. But when it's not, you start to wonder. You start to wonder, an artist, a true artist, they know exactly what they're doing. It's not some young guy; he's a mature man, and he did this statue. I mean, there's a sculpture of it 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 was based on a photo of Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife Cloretta. They were embracing. It was a beautiful photo. But what the artist did, it was a bronze statue, sculpture, and he made it look more abstract, like you don't really know what it is. And how would the future generation know who it's supposed to be when you don't include the torso? You just see the arms. No, no, no torso, no neck, no head. So how could you say this is commemorating the the father of the civil rights movement, um, a man who was killed, sacrificed, so that people could have on paper rights, civil rights. And you said this is how you honor him. Yeah, so um, you see the hands, you see part of the arm, but according to what angle you look at it, and one of the angles, and I'm sure it's like subliminal. These artists know exactly what they're doing because they have to plan everything. They have to draw sketches, and you know, you know what it looks like. Well, it was brought to my attention over the internet and then represented to me, and I was going to talk about it then. Yeah, one of the people that I watch did a report on it, and they showed what it looked like. And I said, "Oh my goodness, they weren't kidding," because I heard the rumors, and then one of my YouTubers that I watch on a regular basis now. Uh, wow, why would they do that? Yeah, it looks um, at a certain angle, it looks like a phallus, and that hands are holding a phallus. Now, in the movement, the civil rights movement, you did have the black community infiltrated with people of a certain persuasion, a certain lifestyle. And yeah, the civil rights movement was infiltrated by certain types of people. And they are, in my opinion, the demise of the black American community. Just my opinion. It's just my opinion. See, by their fruits, you know. And when you do something like that, when you make a statue of, okay, MLK was not a perfect man, but he was perfect for the movement. And I think basically he was set up. You get any human and you wag a steak, they may partake. It doesn't make it right, but his commitment for the movement. Um, why now? Why are people of our community doing this? Uh, Commissioning uh, statues representing him and not representing him and his wife, and you dishonor the legacy, dishonoring his wife. The wife was innocent. You don't like him, okay, you don't like him, but then when you add his wife into the picture and you do that. So you just see arms and hands, and then you claim that it's inspired by the photo of the couple embracing each other. You have very few, if any, statues in America of beautiful bronze statues of black and white people. And here you have someone of the civil rights movement. He didn't, MLK didn't have to do it. He didn't start the movement. It was chaos in the leaders in the community, and so they couldn't agree with one another, and so they got him, MLK, because he was young and he was safe. He could have lived just a simple life. He did very well for himself and his growing family. He was just starting out. He was about 27 years of age. And who knew that this would happen to him, you know? But to make the statue look like a phallus, why did you do that? Are you trying to say that he's a DICK? Is that what you say? What did he do to you? What did he do to you to honor him like that? And his wife. Wow. So it's sad that, they did another statue. Another person did a statue of him, but that came out a couple of years ago. And in my opinion, it's something else about it. This one is a full statue of him. I think it's in D.C. Yeah, D.C. And they make him look now it potentially could have been a real great piece. But they have him now a man knows how to honor a man. When you honor a man, you want to perceive him with strength and honor. They make him look like a damn child, in my opinion. They make him look like a child man. He's holding his arms close to himself. And that type of stance of a man is a defensive, insecure, and he looked mad. Very dishonorable. But people raved about it. I don't know. I people, they are dishonoring him. Now I've seen some masterpieces in my life. The movie that I was watching today, the John Wick movie, and they were in Italy. And man, you saw some fantastic works of art, statues of historic people, the gods, and I said, wow. Now you don't have to like some of these people in history, but man, when they wanted to honor some, they commissioned some fantastic pieces. Fantastic. Now, why aren't we honoring our heroes or people of yesterday as beautiful as the people that you see in museums, the sculptures that are done of people of the past? These people that they're commissioning works of art have no real vision, in my opinion, and it's not real artwork, but a further deprecating people of the community. I cannot look at these statues and feel any sense of pride. And we're just letting any riffraff to commit to do these pieces of so-called art, and so everybody looks at it. I'm ashamed to look at them. That's just my opinion. What is your opinion? Have you seen the latest one of the I think it's called The Embrace, and it's supposed to be Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife hugging each other. But the artist only showed hands and arms, no torso, no head, neck, no head. So how the hell are you supposed to know who it's supposed to be? How does that honor the legacy of the wife and the husband? And uh, you have evil people who are supposed to be representing uh, members of the black community, but I think they're part of some other uh, organization, and they had it in for him. I don't know. He would have been 94 years old, and the person that commissioned it, he doesn't look that. I mean, looks like maybe someone in his 60s or 70s. He's a mature man, but not near the same age as MLK. So what did he have against them? I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Please tell me. Am I just being overly sensitive? Um, I know art is what do you call it, subjective in one's opinion. Whether you call it art or not. But I'm just looking. What was the intent? What was the intent behind the piece? Why make it look like a phallus? Because maybe some of these people that commission, maybe they of the, again, the alphabet soup community. And that's what I'm thinking. Again, I hope I'm wrong. And he just had a bad day and uh, didn't really do his homework. Yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, that statue. And about religion. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this before. Yeah, I've been watching tons and tons of videos. Yes, good morning, good evening, viewer. Good evening. Yeah, I was thinking about religion because one of the people that I like watching is a devout, and I think about, I mean, again, your religion or your faith is a personal one, and what serves you, you serve it. What edifies you, you keep on going with it. But I think I used to belong to a church and a religion, and I walked away from it, and we're all a work in progress. We're all searching in some degree. But I wonder about certain things. Now, why would a God and my understanding of God slash creator, being the creator, why would God come to you or have people tell you, all these bad things are happening and it's going to get you, but believe in my name, call out my name, and I will save you. Why does God need you to um, worship Him only if through fear? Why does why would a God um, want you to focus on uh, what someone else is going to do to you rather than what God wants to do for you because they love you? Isn't God supposed to be loving and caring? Something that's all powerful, all knowing. Why would they present such a chaotic world for you to live in? Why would you put your faith in something that's not really about you to protect you? It's like having children. Oh, kids, let's say you got little toddlers. Oh, toddlers, I'll only would give you food or a place to live only if you honor me and do this and that for me. Of course, they want to follow if you're going to get food. They know that they need, that they need certain things just to survive, but to withhold things or want to threaten to punish you if you don't follow. See, when someone really is great and powerful, they show it. Their innateness speaks for itself, and you want to follow a powerful person, powerful being, right? You would want to see that. You will follow. You follow richness. You follow people. Some people just have the modest touch. Have you seen people like that? It's just something, but they have an anointing. When you see someone who's anointed, and if you're in the right mindset, you'll be attracted to it naturally. You a God, the creator, does not have to force anybody to worship them, to follow them, because their innateness, their being demands it through who they are, their essence. Their essence is what would make people follow. And even with human beings, when some people just have anointing. And so I just really start questioning this God, how uh, this particular religion utilizes fear. They're utilizing fear for people to speak the name of this particular God. They say that this is a God, and X, Y, and Z is going to happen. Oh, you better fall in line. You better believe in him because you'll perish. That's not strength, in my opinion. That's not strength. So you're saying, so it's like a war, a war, a faction against forces. The force that's in power now, and then another force that wants to come in. Well, we'll just have these guys work it out, and the winner takes all, right? If it's a good God, if it's it's not the creator. See, that's what I'm seeing. That these religions are just organizations that's vying for power and control over us. It's a war against us, a war for us, to get us, to get control over human beings, because they want our worship. They want our devotion. So why would a God slash creator want this? Because they're not the creator. They are not the source. And they're just different powers that are vying for your attention and glory. And I'm angry. I shouldn't say angry, but I get annoyed when I hear certain pastors or some religious people say, "Oh, you better believe in him. You better, you believe in those people who demonstrate. You believe in someone who has demonstrated their authority. But instead, you're just utilizing fear to control people to want to worship. That's not even true worship. So you don't force people to worship because worship is the result of one demonstrating authority and greatness and faithfulness. Frightening people to worship is not what a true God does. It's the end product of their essence that's being revered, their abilities. Yeah, I think that people have to distinguish between just a faction and the creator. The creator's signature is written on everything that's done. There is a science, a creative force, and their handiwork is written in the universe. It's brilliant. That is what I want to worship, the brilliance, the wisdom behind the creation. To see, we don't see the creator directly, but indirectly through the things that are made by the creator. His or her, I don't think the creator is a male or female, but an intelligence and order. And I find that beautiful. It's a big world, and how, I don't think any of us will ever fully understand what this life is all about. But there's certain rules that seem to govern the current system. And I see that hierarchy of control in the movie that I saw again today, the movie John Wick. I watched both 1 and 2. There is a number 3. But when I was watching the movie John Wick, and remember, I'm also going to talk about Andrew Tate too. I think they kind of all related. What I found fascinating with the movie John Wick, the second one, it was the second one that really started speaking to me. I mean, those of you who don't know what the movie John Wick, how it starts out with number 1, he's a former hitman. So let me hold this. Excuse me. Yeah, he's a former hitman, and he asked to get out of that line of work. He wanted to marry this woman, and he did have to do something to get out. And for 5+ years, he was in a beautiful relationship, and his wife dies of some terminal illness. And she passes away, and after her death, she had arranged that her husband would receive this gift. And they delivered the gift to his home, and it came with a little card. It was a little puppy, a cute little puppy with a note attached, a very beautiful note. And just shortly after he gets this beautiful gift from his wife as a comfort to him in his time of mourning, he gets his car and he gets his car stolen, and he gets beat up, and they killed his little puppy. And he goes to revenge. And what was interesting about this movie, it discuss it. Well, there's a whole different world, the criminal world. There's a hierarchy, and there is a law, was a code of conduct between these criminals. Yeah, they how they address one another, um, even amongst one hitman to another hitman. There's certain, how they're supposed to conduct themselves. I thought it was interesting about how they present their dress. The how they dress was they wore all these suits and everything. Yeah, it was a romanticizing uh, that type of element uh, by portraying that you know wearing these business suits or these expensive clothing and weaponry was romanticized, I think. But really, what was fascinating to me about the whole thing was that their code of conduct, even amongst these type of criminals, and they're stationed all over the world, and people that you wouldn't think are in these groups. You have some that look like pose themselves as musicians, um, homeless people, uh, couples, uh, different racial groups. They could be black, white, Asian, and everything. Um, and then there was like a meeting ground where these hit men and women, there were women too, would gather. This took place in New York City. The gathering place was in New York City in a hotel, very high end hotel. And they would come there and they had their own entertainment. It was very interesting, this world. And these people in that line of work would even greet each other, and then they start fighting. It was really weird. Um, but yeah, there's a code of conduct, and one of the rules were you're not allowed to spill any blood on the premises. You're not supposed to fight. But yes, they did fight because of the money that was involved. They risked it all for money, and I thought that was interesting. Interesting that human nature was so focused on the material of of, of, of money, of fiat. Oh, I have to change that name. It wasn't fiat. They got paid what looked like gold coins. Gold coin. Yeah, anytime like they went to that place, that Hannah, everything's paid with a coin, the gold coin. And I did look up a couple of days ago what an ounce of gold is worth. Yeah, it does change. I think at one point it might have reached over $3,500 an ounce. Yeah, it does fluctuate, but man, yeah, I was trying to calculate he would hand when a particular job was needed, like when he goes to the hotel, the front desk, uh, they would ask them something, and then they would hand the front desk a gold coin. Yeah, that was their means of payment. Yeah, you never saw bills, or everything was always through gold coin. And they even showed a segment of the movie where you had people, uh, someone came by to that hotel in question, and had a box filled with these gold coins, what looked like gold coins, and they were being examined by the head of that hotel, and he said that they were perfect. Yeah, so I guess in this line of work that yeah, they get paid. Yeah, they buy their clothing, they buy their weaponry, all using coin, the gold coin. They didn't really explain about the how would they fly. Uh, I'm wondering whether they also have their own, um, like planes. That is it do they use private planes? Because how would they pay? And maybe they pay by coin because see they don't want to leave a trail. I'm speculating. They don't want to leave a trail of evidence that they've been certain places. So everything is paid directly to the person rendering the service. And I thought also betrayal, like two siblings, and one of the siblings ordered John Wick to demise his own sister. And then and he's forced to do it, and then after he does it, oh well, I have to revenge now my sibling's death because what you did, well, you ordered the person to do it. So things like that, it's really something. And it reminded me of something, how they interacted with one another. It reminded me of a ripple, like when you look at water, you drop a pebble, and there's a ring that expands out from center, the center point of the pebble that hit the water. There's a ripple effect, and that's what I noticed with what characterized the whole movie, both one and two. And action was done. The killing of his wife and puppy, and then there had to be a revenge for that act. But each time blood is spilled, someone then has the right to avenge that happening, and it wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't stop. Is this what life is really like? The ripple effect? Was the ripple effect in humanity, was that what the Bible talks about with Adam and Eve? Is that the first ripple effect? When Adam and Eve are in the Garden of Eden and they partaken in the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. Yeah, there's a dichotomy in these things, good and bad. And the honor, the alleged honor that has to be done, such as revenging the killing of a person. So to correct one causes the continual ripple effect. How do we stop this ripple effect? There, I believe that, looking at that movie, it seems like the world has a ripple effect on everything. I was watching this other video today, and there's a portion, so it was about spirituality and how to um, call upon blessings over one's life. It was, I don't remember the details of it, but what stood out was someone mentioned that the story about there was a drought, and they got these medicine men to create rain, and they weren't able to do it but this one person. And what they asked, but well, how did you make it rain? He says, I didn't ask for it to rain. He called, how do you say, like, he just said rain, that that it that it exists, rain, something to that of it. But but by saying how he said it, he wasn't he explained that he wasn't saying, okay, we want to bring in rain, because that is suggesting metaphysically that it doesn't exist, and to call it in, but to call something that that speak of it as it already exists. Speak that it already exists. And that is scriptural. Believe that you already have it and you shall have it. That's a metaphysical principle. Oh, so how did that lead? Will okay. Um, so yeah, they made it rain. These medicine man. Um, so in life, they how do we speak into the existence? Maybe it's not like direct prayer, like God, please make things happen good, but maybe it's say that it already exists. Say that peace is already here, that peace exists. And maybe that will heal the planet. Yeah, we definitely need healing on this planet. Maybe somehow it could be done. I mean, if you could have someone to speak as it already is, to have rain, can you also rain for peace? Just a food for thought, just came to my mind. Now, what about this new person to my awareness, this Andrew Tate? Um, yeah, I heard that he's not feeling well. I have weird feelings about this man, Andrew Tate. Yeah, he's okay. He's not in the same line of work as this John Wick movie, but I'm when I think about the two, I almost feel energetically they're the same. I guess because they're both men who have an edge to them. I mean, one is a movie, and one is just a someone with a persona. Um, but I see that. Again, I'm new with this guy, Andrew Tate. And again, I talked about him a couple of days back. Never heard of him, and finding out that he is searched over the internet. And I realized with him, like you ask, so why is he so popular? Um, he seems to be addressing an issue that is not being addressed. You have a movement, it seems like, a movement to emasculate the male, to remove him from the family, and in some communities it's worse than others. And so you have a person like an Andrew Tate, and he put up a persona, this macho persona. And I found out that he used to be a kickboxer some years back. Again, he's only in his 30s. He's a young man. and that he used to also be on television. I think a show called Big Brother. I think it took place in Britain, and he lives in a home with other people, and it's like supposed to be a candid look inside the life of certain people, and supposed to be all spontaneous, unscripted. But I'm pretty sure there's some things that are scripted in it. But either way, I remember that they shared um, in a recent video that he had been removed from the Big Brother uh, home. Yeah, he got kicked out. I mean, that's what that show does. It removes people, I guess, if you don't win or something. I mean, I'm not really familiar with the show. I've heard of it, but I never really watched it. So I'm wondering how now. He was very young at the time. He said he looked very young. Um, I'm wondering what happened from Big Brother till now. Well, I speculate he uh, reinvented himself. He did not want to feel vulnerable, and he wanted to tap into that manhood to empower himself. Um, and somehow he transformed himself, and I thought it was interesting in a movie, I'm not a movie, a video. Someone asked, well, how did you get your money or wealth? And I thought that was interesting. What happened? Uh, how did he word it now? I'm trying to see. He at one point he said that I think he said he had girlfriends, and he wanted to make money, and so he utilized what he had, and so he decided he asked he contact yeah he said he had different girlfriends all over the place, different countries, and he brought them all in one location, and he asked them the question about doing this thing on camera. So he was to get a camera, use his computer, and to have the women um, uh, talk or do something on camera with a client. And wow, that's what So he made his money with that, and then he also has his school. Again, I'm not into that type of lifestyle. Um, you know, um, yes, he did get kicked off for a Big Brother, and I think it's sad for any man to say he has girlfriends, and then you have to ask the girlfriend, hey, you want to make money? Hey, why don't you do this for me? Why, I wonder why women seem to, I mean, if you're going to have that type of lifestyle, why do you need him to do it for you? Why can't you start your own company, run it by women helping women? But it seemed to be exploitive. Um, like he was saying that the obedience. Now, what is it? If this is your girlfriend, then it shouldn't have been should it not have been a collaboration? See that's a concern for me. That it's about. It seems to be implying that there's an ownership. So you have girlfriends, and then you ask them, "Hey, let's do this and make money," but then, oh, you have to obey me. So then it's about almost like a servitude rather than um, business people working together. Like even the movie John Wick, he met up with different people. Like he met up people who um, tailored his suits and everything. Who they purchased weaponry, etc. These were not uh, servants or slaves, or whatever, or you better obey me. These were um, people who collaborate with them. They were professionals, and they did a task and they got paid for it. Why is it this? What what makes a man like him feel like a need? Why do why do some men, excuse me, some people feel that they have to control others? Why if he didn't have money. I mean, when he was a kickboxer, I'm sure he made money, but he hasn't. He was out of that field for a while, and he's no longer on that TV show. So money doesn't last forever, so he has to get more money. So here he has an opportunity with his so-called girlfriends. Why would a man do that to a woman? See, if a man has a woman, wouldn't a true man, isn't men in general over his woman, want to protect her, want to provide for her, but instead she's providing for him? I don't understand this. That's the only thing that really kind of bugs me regarding this Andrew Tate. But at the same time, I'm fascinated at certain. Uh, so I know it sounds weird because I'm a woman, and he says things that's not as flattering uh, about women. He, he, he comes across, yes, very chauvinist. Yes, he does. But there's other aspects to him that I find interesting, certain concepts of, of business, about how to strategize for greatness, for power, personal responsibility. See, that I find okay. Personal power to develop oneself is a good thing. However, to exploit other people through power, that's another story that I do not agree with. So, what is it all about? I mean, he could have really made a good name for himself, I think, through adding, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, spirituality through, you know, the personal power, abilities. He does seem to attract young men. Yeah, what I was going to say about the young men. Yeah, see, we live in a society now. We live in a society that that's forgetting about how to be men. See, a lot of families don't have men in the household that are running the household. It's if often in some communities it's female head of household and the men are around. And so I think men are just trying to reach out and find um, a role model. And I think some of the men are getting angry with the women in their lives. Who are the women? Their mothers, their aunties, their grandmothers. And I think some of these women might be henpecking some of the guys. They're frustrated. They're frustrated at how they're, because the mothers have to now act like the men. But they want to learn how to be a man by, by another man, not a woman. And I think it's confusing men. And so this Tate comes along during this time of confusion. You have a lot of men that they don't know what they are, and they're changing their, the what do you call it, the the what do you call it, tranny movement. You have a lot of men who want to say not that they're women. They're confused about their identity. And so now you got a man named Andrew Tate. And I guess he serves as a lifesaver for them to make them feel that they could be somebody, that it's okay to be a man. It's okay to be masculine. It's okay to be assertive. It's really something. I've never seen anything quite like this. And so I think with Andrew Tate, um, he has some wisdom, but he needed to temper his behavior. See, when you get too big too fast, you get a lot of jealousy. And getting power too quickly may go to your head. And he stepped on a lot of toes. And so his mistake was, see, I was told that he had gotten arrested in April initially of last year, 2022. And then he got rearrested. What was that? In November of last year, 20, yeah. It could have been November, December of 2022. The nail in the coffin for that second time was he didn't know about the power behind who was backing that 20-year-old female, Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg, a Swedish woman. And when she was a minor, she spoke at some event. She is a what call it, climate change, I think they call it, climate change. She is like being used like the poster child for the climate change agenda. And when he challenged her over social media, he challenged her by now the thing with climate change, that they want to implement the powers behind that movement. They want to get rid of cars that use gasoline and to replace it with electric cars. And I guess that's where what's his name, Tesla, the guy who makes Tesla cars come in. They want to eventually get rid of these gas guzzlers to improve the what they call carbon footprint of the planet. And so he didn't like that. Ultimately, that means eventually he won't be able to, and others won't be able to drive their cars. And he got all these luxury cars that you would have to abandon because they're gas guzzlers. So he tweeted that girl who's like the poster child for the climate change movement. And yes, it was a banter and about he was showing off that he got a lot of cars and he'll give her an inventory of his vehicles and he'll give a complete list if she gives him her email address so he could send it to her, the full list. And so she retorts in I think it was tweet, um, she had written a bogus email address that was to insult his manhood. And it's interesting, no one said that that her remark was uh, possibly racist in nature, uh, saying about his genitalia. I understood her remark. I mean, I think I understood why she used that, but he had never, Tate had never attacked um, her femininity. At least what I saw with the tweet in particular that was sent that he had sent to her. Um, was it out of line? I think it was a little out of line of her, but understood because he does come across like he's trying to show his masculinity. But again, the issue is about the cars and that through the climate change movement, they will eventually be coming after your cars. So he feels threatened. I think many people should feel threatened that they won't be able to use their car and they will be forced to buy an electric car. So again, it's creating a new rich. It's creating. It's interesting how the Elon Musk he owns the company that makes the Tesla cars. Those are electric cars. They're very expensive. Um, does it really save the carbon print? I mean, does it is it really to make the car? Well, don't they have to use oil to the what do you call it um, company? When they actually making the cars, don't they? Doesn't it require oil? I don't know. Uh, it's like they're creating a narrative society, and they're creating these mega rich people, by saying, hey, you have to phase this out. Oh, okay, now you're forced to use my product because I'm the only one that got an electric car. It's created, or during the C-19, the past 3 years, uh, many people weren't allowed to go to certain stores, so people ordered online, creating a new super rich. Those people who own those websites online, like Amazon, it's like certain people got richer and richer as a result of the past 3 years, and now it's like they are now position themselves to potentially control our behavior. Now, Elon Musk now owns what was that? Was it TikTok? No, Tweet. I'm sorry, Tweet. He took over Tweet, And then I saw another video, the headline that he's thinking about buying YouTube. So you have people going around buying these large companies that people are dependent on. People are dependent on these social media for communication. Yeah, you know, the little fish being eaten by a bigger fish that's eaten by an even bigger fish. It's nonstop, nonstop. So see that it's like a hierarchy. That's what I'm getting at now. That's what I'm seeing, the pattern. So you have people like Andrew Tate, and there's always somebody, some bigger fish. So even amongst the rich, there are people who are richer than other rich people. And Andrew Tate didn't factor in that he didn't know who he was messing with. And that's a lot of things a lot of times that could happen. Or sometimes we get too confident over the money that we have. People may have money, but you have some people who have power. Their power lies in their ability to control others. Some control it by money, or something maybe someone has um, uh, how do you say, their longevity, and they may have a lot of friends who control different types of companies, whatever, or they may control people like lawmakers, things like that. They have a network, and even like in the movie John Wick, there was a network, and in that movie, he didn't realize, or maybe he didn't care, but it was a ripple effect that one thing affected something else. And with Andrew Tate, one thing, him tweeting to that 20-year-old, I don't think he would have done that if he knew that who was attached to that woman. The um, the people who are trying to take over the planet. One thing, you want to just take over a little block or something, but there are people who want to take over a planet. Boy, it's just happening so quickly. Um, there's something else I want to talk about with all this. I start to wonder, people like an Andrew Tate, um, do the powers, have the powers been following him? I say this because I guess because who his father was a world famous chess player. He's what they call African American chess player, one of the top. And so I wonder whether he, that type of caliber, whether that type of lineage, whether it's followed. Even a video that I was watching today, someone had shared something. Oh, I don't remember what the video was, but someone had mentioned that they realized that they were being watched, that they were learning about reality, metaphysics, and he realized at one point that he can change like his awareness. Um, he had near-death experiences, and maybe through that it increased his focus and awareness of what was going on around him. And he saw one particular time that he just started noticing people around him, and that he would, like he said, steer back, and then he would ask himself a question to within himself, and when he did that, the person walked away, and that he realized, hey, I think I'm being observed. Are certain people being observed? People like Tate, or even maybe people like yourself who are listening. Are certain people being observed? Are people, um, even through, like, let's say their social media, are some people purposely being promoted and others being demoted because they're being utilized for the different power structures, the different hierarchies? What if you are, like in the movie John Wick? Is there a way to get out of this? Is it a contract? Is there a contract? Was the contract done by your parents? Was it an ancestor? What? How do these contracts start? How to break these contracts? I mean, I've heard of people say that you could break ancestral curses. Does it really? Does it? Could that really be done? Could these family curses, ancestral curses, can they be broken? How can they be broken? Do you speak it into existence as if, you speak as if it already exists to break these contracts? It's a heavy blow. There are people, I think, like some people when they grow up, that from very small, you have some people who are plagued by um, bad things, that one thing after another, bad things happen. And then you have some people that they have blessings, they just have that anointing. How do we how do we put these blessings over our lives? How do we make it happen? These are just food for thoughts. Because there are people who I believe are being trapped. And even in the Constitution, we have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is a contract. That is a constitutional contract. And when you're not able to achieve these things, isn't that a breaking contract? These are thoughts. These are very important um, ideas. How many people are suffering? There are plenty of people who do not have. And no matter how hard they try, they just can't seem to break it. Do you want to break these bonds and contracts? How to go about it? Well, I think you have a right to claim your sovereignty. Say, this is my sovereignty. This is my life, my soul, my spirit, my body. And to walk in it. And to stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. That's my thought in this whole matter. We have to learn how to stay in our lane. And ask for that higher power. How to break these chains, these curses, family curses, ancestral curses, or sometimes curses due to where you're living in. You're under somebody else's control. Some areas are controlled by certain things. Yeah, freedom is a beautiful gift. Freedom. The freedom to choose one's life, one's lifestyle. The freedom to breathe and to exist. The freedom of family. Yeah, these are my thoughts. So I know I presented a lot on the table here, but I think all these things are, they overlap one another. They overlap. You have different hierarchies, you have different powers and um, domains, and they affect our lives. And you have contracts and um, people from the past, certain agreements that were made or not made, and this hierarchy may still have a grudge against, as I mentioned about Martin Luther King through his statue. So they're creating, any positive image of him and his wife, they are being trashed. That's a great way to kill someone through through what you think about them. So even though they might be long gone, trashing their legacy. Horrible, horrible. Yeah, there's a lot of overlapping, and they could do the same thing with Tate. They could do the same thing with people in general. If you break out of the box, if you try to break your contract, like in the movie John Wick, he thought he broke the contract, but it still followed him. So this is just food for thought. Let me know what you think about these different people that I talked about. Talk about the MLK statue that looks like a phallus, a phallus. Um, John Wick movie, the concept, and Andrew Tate, and religion. Are you going to choose a God that is able, or are you only following the God because you're being punished and threatened to do so? And I feel that a true God, a true creator, is not someone that uses fear for in order to be worshipped, but their magnificence is attracted. It is attracted to, and is the um, end product of their abilities, and people would just naturally want to come to. Yeah, I don't want to fall into something out of fear, but out of love. And that's the type of creator that I would like to admire. So I thank you again for this live stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think with this live stream, the discussions that I shared with. Let me know. Have a wonderful, wonderful, and safe, and productive, and powerful, and safe evening. Peace, love, and joy to the listener. Thank you again. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.